Hey, Juan here. How are you? So this conversation we're gonna get into right now, it has to do with the five love languages. Now, you're watching this video if your end result is that you and your partner want to come together. You want to be able to improve your relationship, maybe address issues that are taking place, or there is conflict going on in your relationship and you and your partner are really struggling to come together and figure out how do we navigate that conflict. Now, the five love languages is created by the author Gary Chapman. Now, as a quick introduction to the five love languages, there is receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, and physical touch. Now, with the five love languages, I really encourage you, if you have some time on hand, to check out the book by Gary Chapman, The Five Love Languages. Read it and then see if you're able to connect to it on a deeper level. Now, with the activity that we're going to do here, the conversation that we're going to have, I first want to introduce you to understanding a little bit more of what these languages mean so that as we continue this dialogue, you're able to take into consideration how you're going to use the love languages to improve your relationship, to address issues, and then to navigate conflict resolution in a very healthy manner. So let's get to this really basic foundation, right? There's five love languages. The first one, receiving gifts. Now, what is that, right? And it's as simple as probably what you're thinking. It's where you're crafting something like a note you're making for your partner, or you're buying them, let's say, a fancy water bottle. That was not a fancy water bottle. You're giving them something, and then that highlights the gift. The other love language is quality time. Now, quality time is like what you and I are doing right now. Hopefully, this is quality time for you. Now, quality time is when you're just hanging out with your partner, you're sitting back, having a nice drink or a cool bottle of water, but you're just enjoying each other's company. The next one is words of affirmation, such as I love you, I care about you, you are very important to me, you bring so much value to my life. The next one is acts of service or acts of devotion. Now that's like if, let's say that you're with your partner and you clean out their car, or you have the home ready or meals prepared. So you're engaging in some sort of act of service that's connected to your partner. And the last one is physical touch, such as hugs. We all like hugs. Giving your partner kisses, giving your partner some sort of physical touch that highlights intimacy from a high level all the way to a mild level, such as holding a hand. Now, with these five love languages, let's look at your relationship. And I want you to consider doing one of two things. One would be that you pause this and then you go take the five love languages quiz, and then you head back over here. Or you look at your partner, and then you first ask your partner, what their love language is before taking the quiz. Now, if you already have the answers to the quiz, then you probably already know what your partner's love language is. But let's say that you don't know the answer. So ask your partner, what's your love language? Which one do you like receiving the most? And then see if it's accurate. Accurate meaning to see if you, as their partner, have been providing your partner with that love language. So let's say that if my love language is quality time, I would look at the history of my relationship and to see if my partner has been providing me with quality time. If so, awesome. If not, then light bulb. We need to readjust the relationship and make sure that I'm receiving that love language that I'm highest for. And that's what the quiz does. When you go online on Google and you Google the five love languages quiz, you're able to take this really fancy quiz, and it tells you this is the five love languages and this is the ones that you ranked for. And then you're able to use that information and bring it into your relationship. Now let's go into a little bit more depth, if you will. And then what I would like for you to consider to do is to look at the ranking of your love languages. So let's say mine's highest for quality time and words of affirmation. What I want to do then with those two, along with the other ones, is that I want to think about what that means to me, what that means to Juan. So as an example, let's say quality time. Quality time for me is not just hanging out on the couch with my wife and just watching TV. Quality time for me would be like if we're out on a lake on a canoe, I've got her there with me, we both got some fishing rods. So you kind of get the point. I'm giving you something very detailed. And the more detail I can go in with the love language, the more connected it is to me and then to the experience I can have with my partner. So that if my partner and I, if she says, hey, we're going fishing today on the canoe, I'm like, yes, that connects to me. Let's go do that. And then if I do that versus, let's say, a different kind of quality time, like sitting on the couch watching Netflix, I am more likely to receive from the canoe experience with my wife a much higher level of love than the other one. The other one's still nice and it's still something that we can do, but this is the one really that hits home with me. So that's the purpose of this activity that we're doing now. We're looking at how you and your partner can utilize these love languages for the effectiveness that they have. for the strongest utilization possible, so that you're able to improve your relationship. You're able to look at the issues that you have, and 9 times out of 10, if we build a relationship that has more harmony, more love, it tends to subdue, it tends to bring down those issues that are taking place in the relationship. And then the last one is, if there's conflict going on, I want you to think about this as a very simple example. If you're with your partner and there's issues and conflict taking place, right? Maybe you have low tolerance for them. You're on edge, you're irritable. So you're likely to struggle when it comes with navigating conflict with your partner. And it's usually because of that, because things aren't going too well in the relationship. However, right? However, my friends, if you're utilizing these love languages and you are just clicking and connecting with your partner, you two on the same page, they are actively working to provide you with the love and the nourishment that you require. Like this plant right here, right? I give this plant water as often as I can. I give it some sunlight, or the sun gives it sunlight, and some good soil, and it's able to be nourished. So if that's taking place in your relationship, if you and your partner are utilizing these love languages in the manner that they should be used, it'll be a little bit easier to navigate that murky water of conflict resolution. A little bit easier to not snap at your partner, to not say something demeaning, to not attack them, but instead, to bring those comments back and to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't have this conversation right now until we're both a little bit calm. All right. So again, this was the 5 love languages conversation that you and I had. We looked at each of the love languages. We looked at how these love languages can work to improve your relationship by helping navigate issues that are taking place, conflict that's taking place in your relationship, and overall bringing 2 people closer and closer together. Thank you for spending some time with me.